Hey, podcast listener, are you a hacker, techie, nerd, investor, founder, or ever wanted to get into this world? Join TechCrunch for its annual Disrupt conference in San Francisco, featuring the luminaries who aren't only making the rules in technology, but changing the game. Get a first look at startups disrupting machine learning, mobility, healthcare, robotics, and more, and hear from the world's leading investors and innovators. Visit TechCrunch.com and use promo code SPREAKER. That's SPREAKER for an exclusive discount.
Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and you are listening to No BS Job Search Advice Radio, episode 1209. And welcome. It's Monday. I've got a show about one of those stupid resume mistakes people make much too often. I hope you find it helpful. I hope you don't do this, but if you do, it's time to bring it to a close. I also want to remind you, if you'd like to have lunch with me this week on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm available for lunch. Generally, it's 12:30 Eastern time for about 45 minutes, $175. We spend some time. If it's not the right time for you to have lunch, bring some coffee, have a beverage, or just talk with me while I have lunch. And we'll spend some time with me answering your questions and giving you some coaching advice. Again, hope you find this helpful, and let's get going.
I want to talk with you today about one of the stupid resume mistakes way too many people make. And that's the notion of putting an objective on your resume. Now, objectives were created back in the Stone Ages of submitting resumes, pre-computer, where people just mailed resumes in to apply for positions. So there was a time disconnect between the time that the ad was written until the time that someone received the resume, because computers didn't exist, faxes didn't exist. You mailed the resume. If you were a recruiter, sometimes you had a messenger deliver it, but massaging data in a resume was hard. You had to retype it constantly. Many offices didn't have copy machines. They used mimeographs to do it. I know it's crazy how it was like back then, but it was. So, they used carbon paper if you were an individual mailing out a resume, and the carbon paper would get on people's hands. It was awful. So objectives became a way of communicating the nature of the job you were looking for. And they were actually paying attention to them. Now, today, objectives are looked at ways that people use to disqualify themselves for consideration. So, for example, I see objectives that have a disconnect between what someone says they're looking for and what my job is. And thus, it doesn't mesh. Why would I call this person who's telling me in their resume that they want to do such and such and have responsibility for such and such when my client won't give it to them? And I tried to be clear in my advertising or, in the referral that I gave to someone, or the information I gave to someone so they could refer someone to me. And then I get this resume that has a disconnect. Get rid of the objectives. All they do is disqualify you. Instead of having an objective on the resume, use your actual body of the email to communicate the things that you want to communicate. And frankly, what you consider an objective and what most people consider objectives are irrelevant. No one cares what you're looking for. And I hate to be that blunt, but employers, for most of you, don't care what you're looking for, what you're looking for. They care what they're looking for. And you can find out at the first interview if there's a disconnect between your objectives and theirs, but don't be proactive about it. You may write it in a way that, or change your mind, after the time of submission, and have talked yourself out of an opportunity. Instead, like I said, use the body of your email to communicate what you're looking for. I'm forwarding my resume to you because I understand you're looking for such and such. And then you go into the second paragraph that outlines your relevant experience. Maybe you set up the equivalent of an Excel spreadsheet where in one column you have the skills sort, on the right-hand column you have your experience, and then the third column, numbers of years and how recently you've done it. And then you conclude by saying, I'm looking for a role where if you really want to communicate it. Frankly, I don't think you need to. First thing an employer is looking for is if They can figure out quickly and easily whether you're qualified. Your cover email is going to do that. Your resume has to support that information. And then third, the LinkedIn profile will do it as well. So get rid of the objectives. There's nothing good that comes out of it. No one will ever read your objective and go, that's interesting. We could give this to that guy. Hey, that's fabulous. I think this woman would be great, because that's what no one ever does that. Statistically, 95 times out of 100, they go, jerk. And when they read the objective. So just don't use one.
So that's today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, here are a few ways that I can help you. First of all, you can hire me to coach you throughout your job search in every way imaginable. That includes a resume and or LinkedIn profile critique, interview preparation, helping you with a salary negotiation and or networking, answering your questions about your job search, giving you advice about a decision you have to make once you have the offer. We can work in 30-minute or 1-hour increments throughout your search. And the easiest way to talk with me about it is by connecting with me at linkedin.com/IN/the big game hunter. Mention that you listen to the show. I just like knowing that I'm helping folks. And once we're connected, message me that you're interested in coaching. We'll do a free discovery conversation with one another. If you're not interested in coaching and you just have a few questions, the easiest way to do it is by reaching out to me through the Magnify app for iOS. That's Magnify with an I. Or if you don't have an iOS device, if you're an Android user, or you just want to call me on the phone, do it through prestoexperts.com, where I'm a career coach and job search expert. For those of you who've been listening to the show, you know that I always talk about JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. And recently, we've been changing the focus of the site to really emphasize interviewing and answering tough interview questions. If you join, you'll have access to curated information that you can watch, listen to, or read that's designed to help you find work more quickly, as well as videos and podcasts and other information. Again, an emphasis on interviewing and answering tough interview questions. You can also take my classes on Skillshare and become a premium member using the link in the show notes and get 2 months for free instead of the 1 month that the site offers. And the last thing I want to mention to you is schedule me for lunch. I do it at 12:30 most days, and for now I'm making myself available Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for lunch at 12:30 Eastern Time. We'll meet over Zoom and be able to see one another. You bring something to eat, or if it's early for you, very simply bring some coffee with you. We'll sit and talk for 45 minutes. I'll answer your questions. That's less for $175. That's less than what I charge for comparable time for my coaching. So again, reach out to me through LinkedIn and we'll schedule a time for lunch. Have a great day. Take care.
You sit at a desk. They sit at a desk. You have sales reports. They have book reports. You need supplies. They need supplies. Business is a lot like school. That's why your small business should take advantage of back-to-school deals at Staples. Now, Staples 1-inch 3-ring binders are $1.92. 1-subject notebooks are just 25 cents, and 2-pocket poly folders are just 35 cents each. Make back-to-school your business at Staples.
In-store only while supplies last. Offer ends 9/1/18, limit 30.
Hey, podcast listener. Are you a hacker, techie, nerd, investor, founder, or ever wanted to get into this world? Join TechCrunch for its annual Disrupt conference in San Francisco, featuring the luminaries who aren't only making the rules in technology, but changing the game. Get a first look at startups disrupting machine learning, mobility, healthcare, robotics, and more, and hear from the world's leading investors and innovators. Visit TechCrunch.com and use promo code SPREAKER. That's SPREAKER for an exclusive discount.